welcome. So glad that you're here. Today I wanted to talk about emotions, the expression, repression and aggression. And that just depends on what happens. So if the emotions are expressed, the body can return to this beautiful state of clearness, connectedness, creative, and even more cooperative. And then if emotions get repressed, they start to build up. And as they build up, then aggression's more likely. So we're more likely to see things like biting, hitting, shouting, kicking in children. So I wanted to talk about this, break it up into 3 parts. And today I really wanted to talk about the expression and how we can support that, what it looks like when children need to express something. And yes, if anyone has any questions or anything afterwards, please, put them in the comments below, even if you're listening to the replay. And I'll still go back and comment. I wondered if just for a moment we can just check in with ourselves and see how we are going. Just take a minute. Just noticing what you're feeling. If there's a feeling somewhere in your body, does it have a physical sensation? Are there any thoughts that go with it? Just noticing what your breath's like. As you scan through your body while you're sitting or standing, just notice if there's any tension, tightness, numbness. There's no need to change anything. Just notice where you are. Okay, take a deep breath in and out. Have a sip of water if you want. There's something about when you listen to your child's emotions, about your presence and how you can sit with them. So often when children express their emotions, something can really be touched in us, something about how we were responded to when we maybe shouted or cried. And when those emotions come up, it can be quite hard to listen to somebody else. And I really encourage you to find a friend or a therapist or just journal yourself in the evenings if there has been anything that's come up for you when you've listened to your child. So often parents can feel like they're doing a bad job, they're a bad mother or father in some kind of way if their child's crying. And if they tantrum or shout, people can feel incredible shame. It wasn't that long ago, a century ago, if a child tantrum, they were seen as demonic. And we still have these beliefs and thoughts that have been passed down from generation to generation. And it can be very hard. I'm just sending you lots of love and compassion when you listen to your children. I can remember being in a busy supermarket in South Africa and listening to my daughter, and I felt really resourced at the time. And she got very upset about a dress, and she started to cry because we couldn't get it. And she screamed, and I just listened, and I said, "You really want the dress?" And I really hear you want the dress, lovely. It's a beautiful dress. And as I listened, she cried more, and sometimes the intensity got a bit higher. When we really connect with our children, sometimes it enables even more to be released. And it's not that we're making it worse, it's just that we are creating space for more to come out. I know a lot of parents, when they take their children to school, will also say that, "Oh, when I left, they stopped crying, so maybe it's me that's making them cry." And what I would like you to understand is that there's a need for safety when emotions are expressed. So when children cry or tantrum, they will only do so with somebody they feel safe with. And maybe when they are left at school, it's harder for them to cry with a teacher who they might not feel as safe as they do with you. And that's not to say the emotion's gone away, it's just being held until it can be released at another time. So that's a really important thing around emotional release, is the safety. And the more present we are as parents, that increases the safety for our children to be able to express their emotions. And when they express their emotions, they might do it through tears and crying, and they might come in and want contact, or they might tantrum and scream and shout. And if we can lovingly hear them and listen to them, and when we lovingly hear them, it's a little bit of repeating what they're saying. I really hear you're angry or upset. And also there's a little bit of imagining, so sort of reading a little bit between the lines. It can be very unenjoyable, especially when you're angry, and I'm sure you may have experienced this as an adult. If someone starts to parrot back to you your exact words, it might leave you feeling unheard, and children are exactly the same. They need to really have a sense of being heard, and that might actually not even require words. That might be just you really feeling into what it's like for a child to be feeling what they're feeling, and just deep, deep empathy. And then when you express anything from that place, they're able to feel really heard. And as I said, that may not have the immediate result of them calming down or feeling relaxed. It might actually get worse. And what's happening there is that they've got a lot of emotions that they need to express, or they're feeling much safer than they have, and so they're letting a lot more out. So I encourage you just to stay with that as long as you can. And when it gets too much, whatever you do normally to distract them or stop them, or whatever you do to calm them down, then you can do that and leave the listening to another time. You can always, it's never too late to heal from anything. You can always listen to more emotions, and I encourage you to do it in chunks that feel manageable to you. There was something also that I wrote down, and I would like to just add here, just in terms of, there's quite a lot of understanding of the importance of tears. There have been studies that have looked at the chemical component of tears, emotional tears, and how the chemicals released are important in the body returning to homeostasis. So it tells the body that when that chemical is released, and that chemical is something that's needed to trigger more adrenaline or cortisol, the body can then calm down. And they've also done a lot of studies on heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, and also all the emotional sides of actually really being heard and seen and loved by another human being when you're really upset. And I always encourage, once your children have expressed emotions about whatever it is that they need to express, really notice what they're like afterwards. Notice, are they slightly calmer? Do they sleep better? Are they more connected? Can they make eye contact more easily? And sometimes and we'll talk more about this tomorrow and the next day in terms of repression and aggression, if there has been a build-up of emotions, sometimes listening is not just a once-off. There's been a build-up, and listening needs to take place over a longer period of time. I hope some of that was helpful, and yes, please, if you have any questions or you need any more information, please comment or send me a message on Messenger as well. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.